Yes, hello friends, welcome to BISP Solutions. Myself Ashwin, and BISP Solutions is a tech company, provide technological solutions across the world. Now see, this is our day 4 of business analyst, right? Now see, this is our 4th day, and today we are going to see what is SDLC. Now see, in our first introduction session we have seen what is a BA. In second session we have seen how many different types of BA, and in third session we have seen what are the different projects. Now basically what we have seen so far, there are two types of business analyst. One is the IT company business analyst, software project business analyst. Second is ERP business analyst. Now to become, as I have told you in the beginning of the journey, that within these 30 days you will become a complete business analyst. So in order to become a software project business analyst, today we are going to discuss only software project business analyst. So in order to that, to become a business analyst of a software development project, a business analyst needs to understand exactly what is SDLC. Now this SDLC refers to system development life cycle. Now this term is used heavily in context of software development. Now in this software development life cycle, let me give you some example here. First of all, it's a structured process used for developing software or a system based solution. For example, let's take an example like a college management system. It's a software project. Here also SDLC method is followed, and also it covers every stage from idea to deployment and support, right? So this SDLC contains all the stages. Now let's see. First of all, I have given you the definition that SDLC is a structured process. Just a second. It's a structured process used for development, right? Software, that's it, right? Now this is the definition. Now common phases in this. So common phases, for example, if a project comes for like a college management system, right? Now we don't know about anything about that particular college, right? So what we will do, first of all, the very first step is the requirement gathering. Okay, now in this requirement gathering means asking the stakeholders. We know stakeholder means the every one person which is involved in that project from the client side, okay, also from the technical team side. Now we will ask the client that exactly what your requirement, what is your main target, or what's the problem, then what is the scenario, everything, and everything is captured in BRD. Now what is this BRD? We will cover this topic in our upcoming sessions, right? So BRD is a document. When we will go with the documentation webinar, we will cover this. Now in this BRD, what happens? All the requirements are captured. Second stage is analysis. Now suppose in a college management system, right, student management system, or we can say attendance management system, whichever. Analysis is the another step. Analysis contains like for example, I have taken the requirement and now I will analyze that exactly how much of the requirement that we are able to provide. Many times what happens, the requirement consists of some kind of API or some kind of subscription. For example, if the college department says that we want that as soon as the fees is submitted, college fees, immediately SMS should be shoot out to every mobile. Now that contains some subscription, bulk SMS subscription. So we have to analyze exactly what they have given, what we are going to provide them, how much of that requirement we are going to provide. Third part comes design. Now design comes means first of all, they have given you requirement. Now I will start designing the UI. Designing refers to the UI of the application and development refers to the scripting part. Okay, so designing part, we start working on it, how the template will look like, what will be the color combination, what will be the headers, how many pages are there. For example, the college says that life in our college and the achievements of the college and the department head details. So everything will be analyzed, exactly what type of design and what type of template. Now once the template is finalized, okay, so it requires template finalization. Okay, so design means UI UX, right? UI design and template finalize, right? And then we will after that, now again once the design is finalized, we will ask them, okay, this template we have selected for you, whether it is okay. Then when they will say that okay, now we are fine with this, so then we will start working on the development part. Now this development part contains scripting part. Now we will start working on functional structure, that how, for example, if they say that there should be one module of student management system. Now in this student management system, what they will do, we need the student personal detail, so there should be one form of entering the student personal information. Then there should be one form for the admin part. So these are called the development phase. And then the testing phase, once design and developed of that development is done of that software, so it will start working, and then we will start testing. So again one more document will be created, right? And then the deployment, once they give the sign off, of that deployment testing document, then we will deploy it. Then the deployment document will also be created, that this there is a specific format. Now after that, maintenance, once your application is deployed, then per year maintenance will be done. Okay, so let's see the image first, right? Let me make it zoom. Here, look at this. This is the complete SDLC. Okay, first of all, requirement analysis. After that, design. You can see here the design part, then the implementation, then the testing, and then the evolution again. So every time, for example, next year the college has opened another department. Then what they will do, again they will connect with the same company who has developed their software, because that company is having all the details. So that company will take the charge that okay, this new department is opened. Now again, analysis, design, development, testing, deployment, maintenance, everything will be followed as it is. Now the question arises, why it's important for a BA to understand, right? Why it's important for BA to understand, right? So why BA should understand all these things? See, whenever we have already discussed that the technical team will never communicate with the client, and client will never communicate with the technical team. The only bridge between the client and the technical team is the business analyst. Now if the business analyst is not having any knowledge about this SDLC, then how he would communicate the same to the technical team? Because he has to communicate with the technical team also, and he has to communicate with the client's end also. For example, if the you might have heard about the pagination part also, right? Now suppose if the client says that okay, all the list should not be shown in one attempt, make it like a group of 10 rows per page. So at least he should know exactly what is pagination. So in this way it will help a BA align with developers, testers and the project manager, correct, and also ensures requirements are captured, documented, validated at the right stage, right? So that is why it is important for a BA to understand how the software development life cycle works. Clear? Okay, now when we talk about software development life cycle, okay, so just a second, here it is, right? Why it is important? So that's the reason that why it is important for the BA. Now when we talk about SDLC part, okay, now in this SDLC part what happens, mainly there are we will discuss today 3 types of models. One is the waterfall model, another is agile model, and the third is the which one, this hybrid model. Okay, now see, let's talk about the waterfall model. Now in this waterfall model, see, water falls from top to bottom, right? So it's a top to bottom approach. That means first of all requirement will be taken, then it will be freezed, then designing will start. I will not start designing your template until you freeze the requirement. That's the approach in waterfall model. Now once the template is finalized, then only our developer will start working on project. That means up to this stage, development stage, technical team is not involved. Once the design is finalized, once the requirement is freezed, then only the technical team will enter in the picture. After that, now this development phase takes a little time because it's an iterative process, doing and then testing, again coding and then again testing. So first testing will be done by the technical team, okay, and it is also called as a sequential model also. So it's having a sequential flow. One phase must finish before the next begin. Okay, now once the deployment is done and the maintenance, suppose at this point of testing, if the client again say, okay, we have changed the requirement, so this thing is not allowed in this waterfall model. That is why it is called as waterfall model. That means in one attempt you just give your requirement, they freeze it, give me the sign off, then we will finalize the template. And it is largely used for website development, mobile application development. This waterfall model is used because it's suitable for this type of projects, right? Okay, now here documentation is strict. You have to do documentation of every phase. This BRD is created, design document is also created, then the development document, that is the functional design document, then technical design document. So here suppose BRD, this is the sequence, BRD, then UI, then the FDD, then TDD, that is technical design document, right? After that test cases, then test script, after that user guide, right? So this is the sequence running. Okay, after that deployment and maintenance. So this is called complete waterfall model. Now this is the characteristic that I have shown you. Now BA role in waterfall model. Now what is the role of BA in this waterfall model, right? Okay, so let's discuss on that also. So what is the role of BA in this waterfall model? Now see, first of all, it conducts initial requirement gathering. This is the task of the BA, business analyst, that conduct a meeting every week, 2-3 times a recurring meeting is held. When you will see a live project, you will see every alternate day you will be the part of any meeting. So first of all it will conduct an initial requirement meeting, then it will prepare, first of all let's do one by one, initial requirement gathering meeting, right? Okay, then what business analyst will do, prepare complete BRD and FRD before design start, right? So BRD and FRD, right? Then the third part is participate in review meeting, hands off and UAT, right? So participates in review meeting. I was talking about this type of meeting. This review meeting held every alternate day or every Saturday or every Friday, that depends on the project. So review meeting, hands off and UAT, right? So these are the tasks of BA in almost every project, whether it could be a waterfall or any other model, right? Now what are the pros and cons? Now what are the good things and the cons of that, right? See here, let me make it like this, pros. Now pros are like clear and structured deliverable. That means once the requirement is freezed, that means we don't need to look at back, right? Once requirement is freezed and technical team start working on that, then it's okay. So it's very easy to follow this model, and then easier to manage timeline for fixed scope project, right? Easier to manage the project for fixed scope, right? So for fixed scope project, see there are so many projects which are low budget projects, or the company needs within the strict timeline, like within the 3 months, within the 5 months. So this type of model is suitable on this type of projects, okay? And then what is the cons? Okay, let's talk about this also. So it is difficult to change the scope in the midway, difficult to change the scope midway, right? And second is late feedback. Late feedback means once you start working on it, so at least one or two modules are completed, the client will not be able to see daily, right? They will complete one complete module within a week or 2 weeks, and then they will deploy that on the server, and then the client will be able to see, right? So that is called pros and cons. Okay, so now we understood that these are the reasons. First of all, we will see the role of the BA in waterfall model and what are the pros and cons. Okay, and these are the characteristics you can see here, right? It's a structured design. So this waterfall model is normally used by all the IT companies where the software development is their main profession, right? Is their main where only software developments are done. So that is why this waterfall model is used. Now let's talk about the agile model. Okay, now let's talk about the agile model. Now agile model, let me show you one image here first. Look at this. If you see, this circle goes here and then again it will go here. That means it's a loop. You will see here again and again. Now for example, let me give you an example first. This type of projects, or we can say this type of products, it keeps on enhancing time to time, correct? So it keeps on enhancing time to time. It's iterative model. That means all the requirements evolves time to time. And then for example, let's take an example like a company. The company has developed a product the company has developed a product for their employees that they for their attendance, right? Now for their attendance, what they have done, the company has said that okay, the employee will check a checkbox and then immediately his present will be noted. But the thing is that a employee is sitting at his home and he will just check a checkbox. Now the requirement comes that at the point of within the 200 meters of the company premises, when he will come, then only his attendance will be registered. Are you getting my point? Company has developed a project in one phase, right? Phase one. Company has developed a product for attendance. That a client will check the checkbox and then immediately his attendance will be registered. But the client started doing checking the checkbox from home. So the new requirement comes at the time of geolocation. Phase 2, geolocation, right? When the employee will be under the 200 meters radius of the company premises, then only his attendance will be registered. So in this way the product is getting matured after every iteration. So agile methodology says that it's encourage that okay, you develop something, launch it, then again see the feedback, and then again make some changes, again relaunch it, again you see any error, again make some development. So by the course of time, within 1 year or 2 years, that product has become completely mature product. And the example I will give you, the NetSuite product. NetSuite is a completely matured product, right? Everything is given in that NetSuite. So that is called agile methodology, agile method. Okay, so let's see this agile model, right? And here you will see iterative and flexible. It is, yes, it is iterative and flexible. So let's talk about agile model, right? NetSuite also initially it was launched, then again with some next new features it is again launched. So that is called agile technology, agile model. Okay, so let's have a look on the characteristics of this agile model. Okay, just give me a second, 1 second. Okay. Okay, now see, in this agile model the characteristics are like work is broken into iteration, right? So work is big task is broken in iteration. That means let's take one example of college management system. In the first phase they have launched the website with only the student information in it, right? Then in the next iteration, what we will do, we will add the staff information and staff editing, the student information editing done by the staff, that we have relaunched it. After that, in the third iteration, something new, that the exam timetable should be displayed on the application. So this model is useful where the company or the college or any institution, they want quick and immediate response. College told me that okay, create at least something and launch it. So I will develop a website and then I will only student information will be given and then I will launch it. In next iteration after 2 months, again something new. So that is called iterative. Okay, second thing, requirement evolve over time, right? Requirement evolve over time, right? That means evolution, there is a chance of progress in every iteration. And then encourage continuous feedback and improvement, right? That is what I was saying. Encourage continuous feedback. Yes, because when the next version will be launched, all those drawbacks of the last version should not be there in the newly launched product. Okay, so these are the characteristics. Okay, so these are the characteristics. Now again, the BA role. What is the BA role in this, right? So BA role is like acts as a product owner, right? Or prepare user stories, acceptance criteria and backlog. See, whenever a product is launched, now the business analyst will also prepare the user stories. For example, let's take an example of this attendance management system, company attendance management system. Now once this product is launched without geolocation tracking, now the business analyst will prepare a user story. What if your employee check that checkbox while sitting at home? Now the company will say, okay, let's do something on this. Now the question, now the solution comes with geolocation tracking. So the business analyst also works as like preparing user stories, and what are the backlogs which are remaining, right? So prepare user stories and backlogs and identify the backlogs, right? And also arrange the daily stand-up meeting, daily whatever the product review, right? So these are the tasks of the BA, business analyst in agile methodology. And since it's a iterative process, it's a little lengthy from the waterfall model, right? Takes more time than waterfall, right? That is okay. So this agile method model is something like this. Now what are the pros and cons? The pros are highly flexible and stakeholder collaboration. So pros are, right, like it's highly flexible and stakeholder collaboration. Stakeholder collaboration means those who are using this application and those who are involved at the time of development, right? So they will provide the feedback. For example, let's take the same example here, attendance. Your HR will also give you the feedback. Okay, the application is showing present but the person is not in the office. So this type of feedbacks coming from the stakeholders, right? And the another is early delivery of working software. As I told you that if the company or the college says that at least prepare something and just launch it, so we will keep on giving you the feedback, and we will keep on reviewing the product and keep on developing it. So within the next 1 or 2 years it will be a completely mature product, right? So there are two benefits, that is highly flexible and stakeholder collaboration, right? Second is early delivery. These are the two best things. And what are the cons? Highly discipline is required. Let me show you how, right? High discipline. Strong communication. Now why it is required? Now see, suppose your project is on and it is running. Now after 6 months the company has given you the list of the changes and the modifications. Now immediately your team should be capable enough to make the changes and relaunch that product on the given time, right? For example, I am a college owner and I am telling the company that okay, these are the new facilities and I want this geolocation tracking urgently within the next 2 months. You please relaunch the product. Now relaunching the product, that means you should be able to communicate everything to the your team and also take the feedback. So at this point of time your communication skills comes into picture. How fast you can communicate with the client, the technical team, and how you put the discipline in your team, that at least within the deadline you have to provide the updated application version, right? So that is why here highly disciplined team is required. And one more thing, less suited for fixed cost, right? For example, if a company I communicated with a college, right, college owner, and they said that okay, within $50,000 it is a fixed deal and you will prepare a project. Now after 6 months again the company will say that okay, now do this change. Now it is again, suppose if I again deploy my team, so he will not give you the again the new cost. Why? Because it is a fixed cost product. So that is why when the product is fixed cost and fixed scope, right, fixed scope, then at that time it is better to use waterfall model, right? It is better to use waterfall model. Whatever you told me, I have developed it. Now the product is over, right? The product is launched. So in this way, this iterative model requires the more costing. It is more costly than the waterfall model. In waterfall model, whatever you develop, just develop it and finish the project, that's it. But in agile, you have to continuously communicate with the team, with the client, everyone. Okay, so this was all about the agile. Okay, so this was all about, we have seen agile. So now you are clear with both waterfall and agile. Waterfall means just take the requirement, freeze the requirement, and then hand over the project, that's it. Once requirement is freezed, no further changes. In agile, okay, give me some requirement, I will develop it, launch it. Again after 6 months I will take the feedback from you. Okay, this module needs to be changed like that. Okay, again we will make some development, again relaunch it. So launching, relaunching, and finally you will get a finest product. Okay, now the third thing, that is hybrid. Now hybrid means it is a mix of waterfall and agile, both. How mix of waterfall and agile? Okay, let's discuss that, how it is a mixed, right? So let me come here. Okay, is hybrid, right? Hybrid, mix of waterfall and, right, it is just like in most of the IT companies, hybrid mode working. In a week, 2 days in the office and remaining 3 days from the home. So it is a mix, coming from office also and working from home also. So just like that, this is also a hybrid model. It is a mix of waterfall and agile. Now waterfall means step by step, and agile means in the middle, iterative process for some module, specific module. Look at this. If I show you product backlog and sprint backlog, and then iterative, and then the final product, I will explain you like this way. For example, if a bank software, right? Now in a banking software, right? So customer module, it will never be changed. Whenever the new customer comes, you have to take the information and all these things will be done. Okay, but the iterative model works where the taxes are frequently changed. So tax module will also be there, tax module. right? So here iterations, because what happens, let's take an example of a banking module. Let's see this. Here is the banking module, so this is the customer model, okay, and then this is another just a second, let's repeat this customer model. Then let's take this saving model, right, saving module, okay, then the FD module, right, let's take this FD module, and then here, then final product. Okay, let me make it like this. This is called consumer module, right, where the information of the customer will be taken and managed. That is a different module. Then saving module, that means every information will be kept here. Now here tax module, right, tax module. Now this tax changes frequently, okay, in every government the tax changes frequently. So for this point, this is waterfall, but this will be iterative. Every time the tax model will be changed, the finance ministry whatever give instructions, again this tax module will be upgraded and enhanced. So that is why it is a mix of waterfall and agile, okay, you will see both the things, right? So a custom mix of agile and waterfall practice, and often used in ERP also, banking also, and enterprise project. It is heavily used in enterprise project where the things are likely to be changed. For example, every year or after every budget, taxation rules will change. For example, let's take example, in rare cases the rules might change. So in that case the bank needs to upgrade their application, right? For example, RTI filing, income tax, ITR filing, income tax. So a CA has to keep himself updated every year, right? Similarly, GST rules, the CA, chartered accountant, he has to keep himself updated, right? So that is why this is used in banking, enterprise projects, ERP projects like this. And what are the role of BA in this hybrid module? Now see, start with waterfall style, requirement documentation, BRD, fit gap, everything he needs to create, right? So role of BA, everything will be first documentation related, and he has to start with waterfall, right, because not every module will be changed. Then move into agile style execution for module wise release. Look at this, move into agile style for module wise release. Why? Let's take, I'm giving you one more scenario, one more example. College has developed our own application. Now they have given all these things. Now suppose the college rules, some rules related to fees has been changed. So again they have to make changes in their modules, right? For example, those who have done BCA, so they will be directly entered into the second year of MCA. So these type of rules, if they change, so you have to again iteratively relaunch that modules, right? So that is called module wise release. After that, BA must adapt to both structured documentation and iterative delivery and a change management document. Now what is here is important, structured document and change management document. He should be able to design both type of document, right, structured also and change management document also, because whatever changes are made and on what stage of the application and what at what time the changes are made. So everything the BA, business analyst, needs to know about this, right? After that, what are the pros and cons? Now pros means like it gives you the flexibility of agile also and the waterfall also, because once the consumer module is made, you don't need to do anything. You have to focus only that module which is frequently changing. That is why it gives you the flexibility of waterfall and agile also, both. And the project which are, just a second, let me write down this pros, right? Flexibility of both model. And another is, if a project is very long running project, long term project, in that case this type of hybrid model is used. If your project is a long term project, right? Now let's talk about the cons. What are the negative points, right? So again, it needs strong coordination. Now what is this strong coordination means? For example, in one of my project, what I used to do, we were offshore team and the main team was working in US. Now today they write the email that okay, this is the changes in the saved search or any other file, report, please make change it. Now for India it is late night 2 AM. So what I will do, I will just open the email when I will get back in the morning. So I wake up in the morning and after 10 PM I opened that email. Now after 10 PM and for the whole day I worked and then resolved that error, and then I again written the email, reply back, and then I go to bed. Now after that, next day, because when I wrote the email it was a night time for him, late night. So this is called communication delay, and when this type of model is used, there should be no communication delay. So that is why here it is written strong coordination. Strong coordination means that once I send the email, within few minutes or within a couple of hours I should get the reply, right? That is why it requires strong communication. Then second is role confusion. There should be no role confusion. Every person is defined its specific role. For example, report should be done by like Mr. X. So every time he knows that whatever he need to do, because at the time, suppose if the person is unclear with this role, so the work will hamper. Okay, so that is why these are the roles required. Now how to choose right SDLC? Let's come here. Next point is our here, how to choose the right SDLC, right? Now on some criteria basis you have to choose the appropriate system development life cycle. Now let's see this criteria. When requirement is stability, requirement stability means waterfall model, completely stable, but in agile it is changing and in hybrid it is mixed. So you have to choose exactly which one. So for this when the requirement stability is there, criteria on the basis of requirement stability, this waterfall model is stable, right? If we talk about the flexibility, this agile model is perfect, high. Here it is written high. As far as, let me make it a little bigger. Okay, now as far as documentation is required, so documentation in agile, see, in agile the requirement keeps on changing, so nobody will look into your documentation every time. Just make some changes, relaunch it. Not documentation is required in this, but not as heavily as like a waterfall model, right? After that, feedback timing. Feedback timing in waterfall model, it's a little late, but here if you see early feedback timing means as soon as the HR started using your application, immediately you will start getting the feedback. Here you will see. And in hybrid it is controlled. Okay, hybrid it is controlled, and best for ERP government. Waterfall is best for ERP projects, government projects, because whatever the requirement is taken and immediately it should be launched. Agile model is good for startups products, right? And the hybrid is good for ERP plus integration projects, all these things, right? So you have to choose based on the criteria. What type of, suppose if someone comes to you and says that we are having very limited budget, right? We are having some limited budget and kindly develop our application. So at that time you should choose waterfall model, right? Waterfall. Why waterfall? Because when the budget is limited, so what we will do, we will just create the first version 1 of that application, we will launch it, that's it. And if the person says that okay, we are having a project, we are having the vision of next 10 to 15 years to make this project more enhanced, in that case you can use agile model. Agile means the project is going on, right? And every time you have to look after only one or two module, because those are the changeable module, right? So in this way, based on some criteria, you have to follow some rules, and based on these criteria you can select the SDLC. Okay, now final tips for BA. Okay, now let's talk about the final tips for BA on SDLC model. Now see, the business analyst should know all type of models, right? These 3 types of, you will use all at different times in your career. So for example, if a BA business analyst worked in a company where like softwares are developed, so in that case what he will do, the business analyst will do, he will use waterfall. Adapt your documents and communication skills depending on the SDLC. So what business analyst will do, business analyst will whenever you write any document, you have to take care of that what model you are using and what are the situations that you are using, because at the time of documentation, any type of documentation, whether it's a BRD or the unit test cases, so you have to take care of those documents and understand the team culture and client's expectation before choosing agile or waterfall. Now understanding the team culture and client's expectation. Now see, suppose your company is having so many projects and resources are limited. Now in that case what will happen, what I will do, suppose my company is having like 100 employees and projects are so many and all the 100 employees are occupied. So what I will do, I will go for waterfall model, just take requirements and then complete the project, and that's it, finish the project. And suppose if the team is large and there are so many there is a big team separately dedicated for any particular project, so I will use agile model, because the project will go long, right? So for long-term projects I will use agile. In ERP like NetSuite, hybrid is often the default. In ERP model, ERP like NetSuite, for example, in ERP, in one of my project, I have seen that once the model like order to cash is done, that is fine. Purchase to procure is done, that is fine. But in some module like pricing module, the client is having every time any modification, right? So at that time this hybrid is often the default model. Okay, so this is how the complete SDLC system development life cycle works. So before becoming the business analyst of an IT development company or a software development company, a business analyst should know everything about SDLC, how the project is developed, right? And tomorrow, in our tomorrow session, what we will do, we will understand how the business analyst communicates with the stakeholder, SMEs and clients, right? Because it is also a skill to communicate with different stakeholders, right? In a company there are different stakeholders. One is very highly high tech, familiar with technology, and one person who is familiar with only Excel sheet. So how you will be going to communicate with those two different stakeholders, completely different? That means project is same, but the working style is different. So in our tomorrow session we will see how these business analysts communicate with this. And within the meantime, I suggest you to watch this video again so that you will get an idea. Just a second. So that you will get an idea of how the system development life cycle works. Okay, and those who are new to this channel, I recommend you to watch my previous 3 days webinars so that you will also be on the same page, right? So guys, if you have not subscribed my channel, then subscribe my channel for the further notification of the new videos and webinars. Okay, so see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we will see how BA communicate with stakeholders. Okay, thank you guys. Thanks for attending the webinar. Thank you.